Hello everybody. Welcome to my channel Literary Lessons and Essays. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic on General Shakespeare, Elizabethan stage and audience. Before getting into the topic, I request you to like and subscribe my channel for more such videos. So in the first place, let me give an introduction to the Elizabethan Theatre. Elizabethan age was the glorious period of English literature, and we all know that. The main contributor of the period was Shakespeare and his dramas. He had followed the footsteps of the university wits and established an immortal fame in the realm of literature. Another main reason for his success was that there was a very congenial atmosphere in England and mainly in London to welcome dramas. Drama theatres were very popular during the period. Before this period, there were only touring theatres. That is, the structure was not permanent. The drama actors have to move the touring theatres to public places to enact their performances. The first, now we shall look at the period of Elizabeth. Elizabethan period is between 1558 and 1603 until she dies in 1603. So this is we have seen how theatres evolved in London. So in the earlier period it was only a touring theatre, and later the permanent theatre was established in 1576. The first permanent theatre was built in London, and the first theatre was called as the Theatre. It was erected by the famous actor called James Burbage. Okay, now we shall look at the types of theatre. There were three types of theatre during the period. The halls of royal palaces were theatres many a times. There were many public theatres in London, and there were also some private theatres. So we are looking at the public theatres in this topic. We are discussing about the public theatres. The most famous Elizabethan theatre was the Globe Theatre in London, which was opened in 1599. Many of the Shakespearean plays were performed here. So you should have heard about Globe Theatre because Shakespeare was one of the partner of Globe Theatre in the later years. So Globe Theatre is a very famous theatre of London. In the next slide, I have listed out all the important theatres of London during the period. In the first, as the first important theatre, I have noted the Globe Theatre. Second comes the Lord Chamberlain's Men Home, the Swan Theatre, the Rose Theatre, the Blackfriars, the Curtain Theatre, and the Fortune Playhouse. So this is a model of the structure of the theatre of those period. It seems to be like Globe Theatre. One half of the theatre is shown here, and here we have a better picture. A closer look of the theatre is shown here. Now we shall go at the structure of the theatre. Let us discuss the structure of the theatre. So the theatre buildings were either that they were in many shapes. Okay, they were either round or square or hexagonal or octagonal in shape. So these theatres, they were roofed here, right? Many of the areas were roofed, but the gallery, it was not roofed. So that's what is it is an open courtyard or a gallery. It had thatched roof covering, and the structures surrounding was thatched, but the courtyard was open. The stage was divided into four parts: the front stage, the second stage, the inner stage, and the upper stage. Let us see the divisions here in this picture. This should be the front stage, and here it should be the inner stage. There's a room behind, that should be the this should be the front stage. This should be the second stage. Behind that should be the second stage. The inside one should be the inner stage, and the one upper should be the upper stage. Okay, let us have a description of the front stage and the second stage. The front stage projected into the gallery. See, the front stage is projected into the gallery, right? It served as battlefield, forest, or park. Naturally, it's a big one, this one would have served as battle. So, because many of the plays of those times and during the Elizabeth times, in all the plays we would have battles. Okay, so it served as either as battlefields or forests. In some of the plays you can see forests like as you like it. Okay, so it also served as forest. In some place it served as parks, right? The second stage served as the spelling, there is a mistake in the spelling, please don't mind. The second stage served as palaces, halls, or courtyards. So let us see the second stage. I think we can have a closer look in this picture. So this is the front stage. This should be the second stage. Okay, this second stage served as the courtyard. Okay, this should have served as the halls or courtyards. The third stage, that is a private inner stage. There was an inner stage, and before that we have another stage here. I haven't mentioned earlier. I told that it has been divided only into 4 parts, but in some theatres there were some secret chambers where from there were sudden appearances and disappearances of characters. Some supernatural elements used to appear and disappear, and that sudden appearance and disappearance happened in some of the plays. And for those characters, yeah, there was a private chamber, and that was called as discovery. And then we have the next stage, that is the inner stage and the upper stage. There was an inner stage which served as private chambers. So for personal meetings, for example, you can see where Macbeth and Lady Macbeth conspiring for the death of to kill Mr. Duncan, the King Duncan. Okay, this all happens in the private chamber of Macbeth. And also we can see the Prospero's cave in Tempest, and this inner stage served all these purposes. Okay, also in you can see such a need in Othello, where Othello kills Desdemona. This inner stage served as their bedroom. There was also an upper stage. It had some purposes. That upper stage also had some purposes in Shakespeare's plays too. So in Merchant of Venice, we have Jessica, the lover of Lorenzo. She throws her jewel casket from her room in the upstairs to Lorenzo. So for that purpose, the upper stage served. And also we have the famous scene in Romeo and Juliet, where Romeo theftily or secretly meets Juliet in her balcony. So in such situations, the upper stage served in Shakespearean plays. So we have the next thing to be discussed here about the gallery. The rich men preferred to sit in comfortable box-like structures which cost up to 12 pennies. So even before that, there are other informations. The players entered through one way and exited through the other. So there were 2 ways in the theatre. The players had to enter through one way and they had to exit through the other way. Towards the end of every scene, music was displayed. So a scene closed with the sound of some music. Okay, there was a tapestry hanging in the back of the stage. That was one of the stage devices that was used in the Shakespearean dramas. Blue tapestry hung for a comedy and a black tapestry hung for a tragedy. Women were not allowed on the stage, and this is an important point to note, because though we can understand why Shakespeare introduced many disguises in his romantic comedies. Since women were not allowed on the stage, adolescent boys performed the role of the women. So this is another picture describing or depicting the groundlings here. See, this is the stage. Here the performer is playing, and we can see the groundlings standing. Okay, they used to give some small amount of rupees, and in England in during the period, and they used to stand and watch the play. All through the play, they have to stand and watch. You can see the boxes here where the rich people uh, pay a good sum of money and sit and watch the play. Some rich aristocratic men even preferred to sit on the corner of the stage itself. So they had the privilege of sitting on this corner of the stage, maybe because they could hear the dialogues properly. Those who occupied the pit were called as groundlings. So since they stood on the ground, they were called as groundlings. So more informations about the stage was that the plays were performed in broad daylight. So there were no plays during the night hours. It were performed only during the day hours. The plays lasted to 2 or 2.5 hours. Men and women came to see plays. So both the gender came to see the plays. Women were not allowed to act in the plays, but they were allowed to see the plays. Aristocratic women used to wear masks when they used to come to the theatre. So these are some of the important informations about the stage and the gallery. Now we shall look at the audience. Audience of Shakespeare were very emotional. They reacted to scenes and expressed their emotions openly. They did not have any hidden emotions. They just openly expressed their emotions, whatever they were. Whether they cried openly and they laughed heartily at each and every emotion. They just expressed their emotion as they felt it. They loved supernatural elements, so we can see a free play of supernatural elements in Shakespearean plays. They loved humor and violence too. So mostly Shakespeare, we can see that Shakespeare's target was the groundlings, and his main intention was to attract and pacify the groundlings. So he had introduced all the elements that was loved by the groundlings. Whistling sounds and catcalls were very common during Elizabethan period. So this is how we come to the end of the description of Elizabethan stage and audience. So I hope you like the slides. Like and subscribe the channel for more such videos. Thank you.